You see, there's weight classes in boxing for a reason, ain't there? You just can't pack on muscle, go up 2 divisions and beat one of the greatest fighters of all time. Not to mention doing it with all the inactivity as well. I mean, 1 fight per year since 2020? Fuck off. Plus he's 38 years old. In a couple of weeks, you're living in Narnia, bruv.
The fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA.
Well, apparently fucking not. Yes, I know, Crawford fans, I know, bruv. What an absolute bellend I am not having faith in this man, but I can't put it any better than this.
Abraham Lincoln once said it is the measure of a man that he can admit when he's wrong. I have been catastrophically wrong.
Yes, thank you, Philip. Well said, bruv. And you know what? At this point in the boxing landscape, we have Alexander Usyk, the undeniable king of the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, and we have Terence Crawford, king of, well, a shitload of other divisions. 2 absolute phenomenons that simply look to be unbeatable. Mind you, though, did we score it right? Was Terence actually the rightful winner? Because the AI judge had it 114, 114. Yeah, probably best to take the fucking plug out that thing next time. It's a little bit thick. But come on, big up Canelo. He took the loss like an absolute champion.
Can you describe what he was doing that was giving you the kind of problems that you couldn't really do enough to get what would have been, I guess, a close decision?
We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter. I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard. He deserved all the credit. I tried my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Yes, what a man. No excuses, no redirection. He admitted he was in there with a puzzle that he just could not solve. And of course, this was the moment he knew, weren't it? Have a look. He thought, where the fucking hell did that come from? And not only was it an outskilling, not only was Canelo perplexed about what to do next, but on top of that, Crawford had the power and he had the chin, something a lot of us never expected. So it was a joy to watch old Terence in action. I'm sure we were all entertained. Well, everyone except Dana White. He was half a fucking sleep. I mean, if one of the greatest fights ever made ain't getting your nipples erect, Dana, I don't know how you're going to sit there promoting the up-and-comers on TKO, bruv. And I'm looking forward to your sit-down interview with Sean Zittel, by the way. That's going to be blinding. Anyway, so as for Canelo, well, obviously we can't take anything away from Crawford, but it is fair to say that Canelo wasn't exactly a reflection of his prime years. He did look slower and his timing weren't what it used to be. However, then again, Crawford probably made him look that way. And to be fair, it's not as if we can go, oh, Canelo looks old in there, because Terence is even fucking older. It's mental. And to be honest, the way Crawford had him tied up all night, it's just my personal opinion, but I was thinking, well, he may have even beat Canelo in his prime anyway. The style is a nightmare and the man is genuinely that good. I mean, would Canelo have dealt with the lethal counters better a few years back? Could he have dealt with the gliding feet, the movement, the southpaw stance? After how one-sided this fight was, in a nutshell, it's difficult to say yes. And of course, for a mug like me, I just thought Canelo's size would be the main factor at play here, but when that first bell rang, looking on, it was like there was absolutely nothing between them. If you never knew who Crawford was, you wouldn't have been able to tell that he was this size only a few years back, and this size just 8 years ago. Unbelievable stuff. I mean, you gotta say well done to his team behind the scenes. They done a superb job. Big up his nutritionist, big up his S&C coach, big up Snack. Yeah, well, they deserve credit as well, I suppose. They've always been pretty good at what they do. Anyway, no matter what Canelo did, simply nothing worked. It was almost a waste of effort him throwing in his trademark body shots all night, because they were always getting caught by Bud's elbow and having no effect whatsoever. And unfortunately for him, they only ever opened him up to a flurry of counters that he couldn't get away from. He was getting pelted from every angle, and by the time the combination had finished, Crawford was out of range as well. It was perfection at work. I mean, okay, it weren't exactly the dogfight some may have hoped for. They weren't standing and trading all night, but in hindsight, it was never gonna be. Some people have called it running, but the majority of people would call it supreme boxing, and this was the blueprint to beat Canelo that Crawford utilised to a T. And how he's managed to do it with all the inactivity, I'm fucked if I know. I reckon he's been fighting small hall shows that we don't know about or something. But yes, let's talk about what's next for both, and there's nowhere else to start. How about a rematch? Fuck off, there's definitely no call for that, but then again, you just never know, because regardless regardless of what we all think of running it back, Canelo is ultimately Canelo. And if he says to Crawford, let's do it again, but you get a bigger slice of the pie, how is Crawford gonna say no? Let's be real, with the names lurking about these days, that money ain't available anywhere else. But outside of that, of course, the double excellent Turki ain't messing about. He's talking about David Benavidez coming back down to super middle, and well, okay, he's got to get through Anthony Yard first, but if he does with flying colours, then Turki's likely to get what Turki wants. It may be a struggle for Benavidez, but you know, once again, money talks, bruv. Benavidez ain't earned fortunes in his career, and there on a plate lies a mega fortune. Don't count it out. However, in the grand scheme of things, looking at the super middle and middleweight divisions, is there anyone else outside of Benavidez that really gives Crawford trouble? I just don't know, really. I'm struggling to see anyone myself. I mean, I love Hamza Shiraz and then Billy, but can you see them being able to deal with the skill? Not really. Janabek would be a great fight, but he just don't bring the financials. So ultimately, he's in a similar position to Usyk at the minute, where first of all, it's hard to pinpoint a name that could be able to compete with him and who could bring that mental payday along with them as well. And unfortunately, as much as we'd all love to see him do the unthinkable, he's not interested in going up any further.
Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah. Nah, we ain't going out that much.
But just quickly, chaps, before we carry on, let me tell you about one of the best apps in boxing, the absolutely brilliant Boxing Showtime. This app offers it all from a detailed schedule to comprehensive information on each event, along with the tale of the tapes, fight times, ticket sources, up-to-date undercard lineups, and a boatload of technical overviews on each of your favourite fighters. Plus, they've got a terrific new feature for scorecards. You can be the judge on live or past fights and see how they match up. So check out all the juicy details about upcoming fights, plus much more, and read all the hot news stories bubbling up in the boxing world. Ain't it blinding? So use my promo code below for access to all the ad-free premium features, everything a boxing fan could ever need. Smashing stuff. Now back to the vid. Yes, there we are. So he said fuck that, which is a bit of a shame really, because he's just beaten a man who actually won a world title at light heavy, but clearly he knows his ceiling, so fair enough. However, on the back of that, it does limit options a little bit as mentioned, but how's about a return to 154 against old Jerome Boots Ennis? Yes, well, he's fobbed that one off as well, actually.
Would you consider going back down to 154 and face Jerome Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight?
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
I mean, who knows? He may be bluffing though, because the Boots fight does sound plausible, and there's even a bit of narrative now with him formerly being Canelo's sparring partner. A lot of fucking good that did, by the way. No, I'm joking. But yes, Boots has certainly got the skills to pay the bills. Of course, he'd be the underdog going into the fight, but who knows? It may take for the very best to bring out the very best in Boots. We shall see. Then as for Canelo, well, a lot of people will be saying now, we know why you ducked the hard fights like the Bivol rematch, David Benavidez, Jake Paul. Yeah. And okay, they may have a point, but along with that, for the first time in a very long time, the man is now beltless. I mean, he is $100 million richer again, so he's probably thinking, well, I couldn't give a fucking monkey's toss. But yes, being currently beltless, having done everything you can do in the sport and showing clear signs of decline, he should really be calling it a day. He's completed boxing and it's the most logical thing to do. However, according to the legend, he's not done yet. And let's not forget, by the by, he did sign a multi-fight deal with Turkey, so he may have some contractual obligations to meet, stopping him from retiring anyway.
Was the frustration getting the better of you?
You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. I try it, but my body just not let me go. You need to accept it. So yes, he will return, and it's no surprise really. I mean, even if it is the incredible Crawford, losing to a fighter coming up 2 weight divisions is really gonna sting. So he's bound to want a form of redemption. But what's gonna be likely? And by likely, I mean good for Turkey and Riyadh season, good financially for all involved, and good for Canelo's final roll of the dice. Well, if we assume that it's got to be a big fight because of the Turkey deal, then it would make a lot of sense for it to be old Hamza Shiraz. If Hamza don't get the Crawford fight, of course. This is plausible because he's become a big draw nowadays after the Belanga win. He's a Riyadh season ambassador and a Turkey favourite, and on paper he's got potential to be a blinding
thrilling fight. What's not to like? You could even do that at Spurs or something, get Canelo over to Blighty for the first time, and the UK will make it a monster. But outside of that, I wouldn't be surprised to see something really out the box, like a jump up to cruiserweight to fight Badou Jack. I know he's just lost to a former welterweight, I know, but Badou Jack is very beatable, and Canelo will be able to tick off another world title in another weight division. An incredible feat. In fact, when you think about it, with the power this man holds, it's hard to not see him fighting for a world title in his next fight, so I'd say that one has got some very hairy legs. Outside of that, fuck knows. You tell me who you think these two could be fighting next. Anyway, big up Crawford, don't forget to download Boxing Showtimes, and adios for now.